We're here in the kitchen at the Murrell home, and you are doing all this wonderful bread and biscuits and everything, and we've just been discussing the kitchen. Now, this is the original kitchen, but it wasn't right here. Tell us about that.
Right. It was located down a few yards here, maybe more than just a few. Maybe 50 yards or so. Because it was such a fire danger, they didn't have the houses up, the kitchens up next to the house. So also because of the hot weather, they probably didn't have them attached. Later on, maybe about the turn of the century, I'm not quite sure about that, they attached it to the kitchen.
And at the time that the kitchen was here with the Murrell family, it would have been a black cook, would it not?
Yes, because Mr. Murrell had quite a few slaves. And today you're making this wonderful bread, and yes. I think our audience would like to know what the bread is made of and how you do it. The bread, it is just flour and water and yeast, and I use, my secret ingredients is molasses and brown sugar.
Oh, yummy.
So that's my secret ingredients, and just let it rise, and I make it into 6 loaves and bake it. Now, I didn't bake this on the open campfire, but now right here I have some sourdough biscuits, and I did make these in the Dutch oven.
On the fire, on the campfire, yes.
On the campfire, on the coals.
On the coals, yes.
The coals.
And tell them what a Dutch oven is. They probably don't know.
A Dutch oven is a cast iron pot that's mine's about that big around. There's a variety of sizes. Mine's about that big around and about that deep, and I put a trivet in the bottom of it so that the biscuits don't sit right on the bottom of the cast iron.
And does your Dutch oven have little legs?
Yes, yes.
And it has a cover. You put the cover on.
Yes, and it has a lip on the cover so the coals can go on the top and they don't slide off of the lid. And here's some that have just come out of the Dutch oven. And just let me have them here. Thank you very much.
I'm here with Veronica Gaston at the log cabin at the Murrell home, and there are interesting things going on here. Veronica, will you tell us what's going on the front porch of this cabin?
I will. What we have going on today is we have Carol Livingston and from our spinning guild group who is spinning today, and she's going to be, what are you spinning, Carol? Wool. Are you spinning from Shetland? She's spinning Shetland sheep's wool. And then we also have basket weaving out front. But what she's doing is demonstrating how clothing was made. So you started by spinning the wool into thread. And then we can also dye it with natural dyes such as cochineal, logwood, madder, or indigo.
And the wool doesn't look just like that when it comes off the sheep, does it? There are several processes.
There are many steps. So you raise the sheep. A lot of times they would take them down and they would wash the sheep in the pond or a creek and let them dry for a few days, and then they would shear them. And then they would scour the wool in big kettles. You may not want to know what they use, but anyway. So they would do that and process that up and dry it. So these are cards, very nice pair that Carol has here. And what you do, the teeth are bent back towards the handle, and you just snag some of the wool on it. You don't want to overfill them. And Shetland has nice long staple fibers.
How interesting.
And then you're going to take and begin to card these off. Now this is in pretty good shape. Some wool can be much more matted, but you're trying to get these fibers all going parallel and nice and smooth, so instead of having lots of knots and bumps in your threads, you can have a nice smooth thread.
All right. Now you do cotton, this is virtually the same process?
Same process, a little bit different type of cards, finer teeth. And then you just take that off into a bat, and that's also where your term quilt batting will come from. So rectangles would be used to make your quilt batting. But then we're going to roll that up into a rolag, and that's just a term that means rolled air. And then they're going to spin off of that right there.
They're going to spin off of that. And the foot works the pedal. Thank you so much, Veronica Gaston, for explaining this process. Veronica is an authority on all things that have to do with what goes on in the Victorian period to make life worthwhile.